Hi, good afternoon, everybody. This is Eric. I'm with American Business Systems, and I want to welcome you to our town meeting that we're actually going to have with Patrick Phillips. He's the CEO and owner and the founder and everything that got ABS started was with Patrick. So we've got the privilege of having him from his busy schedule this afternoon to join us this afternoon. And, this is what it is. It's a town hall meeting, which means we actually want to hear from you and your questions. For those that have attended past webinars, you know that we typically have a topic as what we kind of go with every week. And for those that are brand new and might be listening in a little bit later on, we do try to give different educational topics about medical billing. Anything from how to get doctors to how to get things set up, what's going on with our training, what you learn in our training. So we do cover a lot of different topics, but we wanted to do something again special today that we do maybe once or twice a year, and that's just really open up the questions to hear from you, and we want to hear from you. We want to make sure that we get as many questions answered on the webinar today. So we're really going to get started here and get this thing kicked off. So let me introduce myself again for those that are still coming in. My name is Eric Ogea, the Director of Research and Development here at American Business Systems, and want to also let you know, if this is your first time to join us, that we've been around for 24 years. So it has been a while since ABS got started, and that's one of the questions that we're going to kind of kick off this afternoon with Patrick is tell us a little bit of the history about American Business Systems. So you'll hear that here shortly as we go through. But first of all, we want to do a little bit of housekeeping and making sure you know what to do for you to get the best out of this next 45, 50 minutes as we go through the webinar today. First of all, we want to make sure that you know who we are, that we are real. That's going to be another question we're going to ask today. But for those that want to do your due diligence, you can go to the Better Business Bureau of Fort Worth. You can check us out there. You can see that we have an A+ rating. So just do some of your due diligence there as you're kind of going through that. But also, I want to make sure that I'm being heard. So if you're hearing me loud and clear, I'd like for you to just type in your city and state in the question box. So go to your control panel over there, find the question box area, type in your city and state, and that'll allow me to know that I'm being heard. Also, it'll let you know exactly where to type in your questions. And again, as for those, still some people still coming in, this webinar is about you. We're going to be talking about the best business to start in today's economy with Patrick Phillips. Again, this is more of a town hall type meeting, so at least you know exactly where the question box is. So we've got Guy from Salt Lake City. Thank you for helping me out here. Gerald from Brazil. Good to have you here, sir. Timmy from Idaho. We've got Marlon. Marlon, good to see you, sir, from Maryland. Good to have you here. Monica from Boston, Massachusetts. Carrie from Cornwall, New York. Got you there. Thanks, Carrie, and looking forward to talking with you shortly tomorrow. Kansas City. We've got Tiffany from Kansas City. Lakeisha from Iowa. Good to have you here. We've got I'm butchering your name. I'm so sorry. But Mishra, hopefully I said your last name correctly there. And you're from Corinth, Texas. So you're just right down the road from us here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So thank you for joining us this afternoon. Again, remember, folks, that is where you're going to type in your questions. As you can see, this is live. You know, we don't pronounce names all the time that well. But that's what makes us real, right? We're all human beings, and we do the best we can and get through and helping each other and encouraging one another in the business. One of the things I want to draw your attention to before I bring Patrick on, and that is, if you haven't gone to our website, take the time to go there. Check us out on our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is chock full of information. We have some of the latest webinars that we've conducted there. Like I said, demystifying marketing to doctors. 1, 2, 3, 4. Folks, there's so many people that ask us this particular question. How do I get doctors? Well, Patrick and I tried to do the best we could in a 1-hour setting of demystifying marketing to doctors. So go check out that webinar. If you want to know what kind of return that you can make, you can see number 1, 2 on the first line there, rapid return on investment with just one client. And then go listen to these testimonies, whether they're the testimonies from our recent training class, as you can see way over on the right-hand side, or whether it's just licensee interviews that Patrick has done. Go check those out. Those are great webinars for you to go look into. And so I really wanted to draw your attention again to our YouTube channel, because that's, again, where a lot of information is. Then I want you to go check out our virtual brochure. Everybody that's on the call, you should have gotten an email from one of your business coaches here at ABS. And in that email is a link to the virtual brochure. Go check that out, because again, we don't send out paper. We're in the new age here, where we're not actually physically sending out brochures. We're in the electronic age, and attached to the virtual brochures, there are videos and all the information you need to do about how to do your due diligence. Again, what you're getting for your investment here at ABS. Please go check that out. Now, let me introduce to you, for some of you, the very first time, our founder and CEO, Patrick Phillips. Not only is he the founder and CEO of American Business Systems, but he's also the chairman of the board of the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. MRMA, we call that. You can go check that out on the web, but he is the chairman of that organization. It has been around for quite some time now, and that is the entity that actually certifies you at the end of our training as a certified medical revenue manager. So Patrick is also an author. He writes frequently for the Billing and Coding Advantage magazine. He's got his articles in here all the time throughout the year. Now, this magazine is not for just ABS licensees. This magazine goes out to, obviously, medical billing companies. And so whether you're learning about revenue cycle management or the ICD-10s, these are obviously articles that are very important to medical billing companies. And Patrick is one of the editors there for that magazine to go out. Now, he's also written several books. Cash Crunch to Cash Flow is one of the popular ones. You can find all of these on Amazon.com. The New Thriving Medical Practice is one that he's co-authored with Dr. Vicki Rackner. We'll get a chance, hopefully, to talk to him about that. And one of the first ones he ever wrote was How to Reprogram Yourself for Success, because I think Patrick had to do that himself. Don't we all need to learn how to reprogram ourselves for success? So we'll talk a little bit about that. Now, let me tell you real quickly, because I know once we get started, there'll be a ton of questions that are coming in. So those that are interested in trying to get to one of our upcoming training, is the next one's coming up is March the 19th through the 23rd. We'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end, but I don't want to waste any more of your time nor Mr. Phillips' time. I'm going to get him on here. He's going to join us by video here. So Patrick, okay, I see an empty chair there. There. Oh, here he comes. I thought, okay.
You talk about a busy schedule today. I had to run in here and turn on the camera. Well, all right. Thanks for having me on today, Eric. I'm thrilled to have all these people on here. Some of them probably don't even know what we do. Folks, right. You're going to learn a lot today, believe me, just from asking the questions. And these are questions, Eric, that you've just, I guess, gotten from previous webinars and by email, of course.
Yeah, like last week, in the previous weeks, we have gotten just a ton of questions. And so oftentimes we don't get a chance to answer all those questions on a live webinar, especially when we're doing a specific topic. So I thought we would kind of bring all of those together, really kind of focus in on some questions. And then obviously I'm going to be looking at the question box over here on the right-hand side for those that are here live. But there are some questions that we kind of frequently get asked. So we're going to kick off with this one. And why don't you tell us, Patrick, a little bit about how ABS even got started?
Yeah, you know, people think of me as the CEO and the founder of the company. But actually, I'm not the founder. My wife, Linda, here, let me get this picture here off the wall. I want you to see this. Eric, I don't know if you've even seen this picture. There we are. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah, boy, that's a few years back.
Yeah, Linda and I met in high school. Yeah, our history teacher introduced us, and Shortly thereafter, I mean, right after high school, we got married. That was 1968. In fact, this coming August, we'll be celebrating our 50th wedding anniversary. Thank you very much. How she's put up with me for that long, I don't know. But Linda started doing billing for a friend of ours that was, he had a durable medical equipment company that billed, Medicare for different things that he sold out of his store. And he called her up one day and said, Linda, do you know how to do medical billing? She said, well, I've gotten medical bills, but I don't know how they, were generated. He said, well, come into my office and I'll show you. 2 days later, she was doing medical billing. So folks, this is not, brain surgery. Get it? It's not brain surgery, but you could be doing the billing for a brain surgeon. Sure. In fact, dozens and dozens of specialties that are out there. And so she started doing that. She was doing it on a typewriter, Eric. I know some people are probably too young on here to know what a typewriter is, but it basically was on paper. So everything was done on paper. She was doing, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 of those a day, so it wasn't a big deal because you can do a claim in a very short period of time. Long story short is that we continued to grow our business, and our relatives and friends started asking, well, how are you making this money? And because we never left the house, it was a home business. And so we had people asking us about that. And so I decided that there must be a market out there, so to speak, for people who wanted to learn how to do what we were doing, because we had bought a new house and a couple of new cars, and people just didn't understand that. So that's how we started. That was back in she started doing billing in 87. And then we started licensing in 1994. So we've been doing this, like you said, for almost 25 years now.
Yeah. Well, it's not only, it got started with you and Linda, but it's actually moved into where you've actually created this as a family business. And really, as you kind of mentioned earlier, you were doing home-based business when, like you said, home-based businesses were, not a very popular thing back then, but now it is.
Yeah. In fact, it's growing so fast that the government has come up with a new category of, work at home small business owners. And there's lots of tax advantages, by the way, in owning your own business too. You can write off thousands of dollars on stuff that you're already spending money on right now for yourself. You just switch it over to business use, and some real advantages there.
So again, one more thing that you can share about this, but where that's the history. Where's it going to go in the future? I mean, obviously, you're kind of the kingpin guy there. You just said that next year you're going to be turning a certain age, and that might get you another 30, 40 years left here on Earth. But where do you see this business kind of going, and where's the history of where ABS is going to go to as well?
Well, I mentioned that we had my whole family, of course, involved in the business. My son, Adam, is 42 years old. Anyway, he is the president of the company now. And as the CEO, the founder, basically I am the, I'm the Dave of Wendy's. Remember Dave? Wendy's? Yeah. It's just that I haven't died yet. That's the only difference. Because I'm really kind of the face, and I'm the spokesman. I've written some books. I edit, contribute to the magazine, and so forth. But the future really is so huge here, Eric. Every year we have seen a growth in the past 5 years. Every year, it's like this industry is so big and so growing. The population is getting older. The baby boomers are retiring, and so forth. So that many people are going to the doctor, and that more often. So it has a huge future. We've given some statistics in the past, as you know, that show that it has one of the biggest growth rates of any industry in America. It's 1/5, 20% of the entire gross national, product.
Yes. And I guess, from some of the questions that I know that we're going to be getting here is this still a viable business? But before we even ask that question, we've had this question actually come up and from the past, and obviously sometimes we get it, and people are, when they type in and they're looking for a certain business opportunity or, franchise. Patrick, how can I know if I'm looking at this? How can I know that this is a real business, not just another scam?
Well, one of the things that people could do is just go out to the Better Business Bureau and check it out, just like you showed earlier. Folks, you can't be around for 24 years in Fort Worth, Texas, and not be listed on the Better Business Bureau site. And the fact that we have an A+ rating there tells you that we must be doing what we say we're going to do, or people would be complaining, and that rating would go down to A, and then A-, and then B, and all the way down to F, right? So it's a pretty good thing to do some research. I do encourage people, check out any business that you're going to send some money to over the internet, because there are a lot of scams out there for sure.
Sure. Yeah, and I think at one time in history that medical billing in and of itself became popular, and obviously there was a lot of scam kind of things that happened through that. But I mean, again, you being around for 24 years kind of proves that it's not, obviously a scam, because you would have had to change names a few times.
Right. Well, one of the things that people could do also, Eric, is to talk to some of the people that, have actually gone through our training, have started their business. They're out there building their business. Some of them have been around for, with us for 15, 20 years. And so they're willing to talk to other people. They're just real people. In fact, some of them have offices that you could go visit if you wanted to, if you got permission from them to do that. But get back, with your business coach here at ABS, the people who send you these emails about these webinars, and just tell them, hey, I want to talk to some of your people out there, and just call some of them and find out. That's the best way to prove that a company is real and do what they say they're going to do.
Absolutely. Hey, folks, let me remind you that, we have plenty of questions we can go through. I'm going to ask some of these questions because, again, a lot of these questions have come from viewers just like yourself, those that have been on some webinars. But, again, we may not have hit your question just yet. I'm watching the question box over there. So if there's a certain question you'd like to ask Patrick, or about the business, about medical billing, about anything in particular, put that in over there. I'll be sure to take care of that. All right, so let's talk about costs. Because obviously we know that there's an investment. So let's first of all talk about that investment, Patrick. And then what are other costs outside of my ABS license fee? If we're dealing with medical billing, obviously there may be some what's called clearinghouse fees, maybe some support fees. What about upgrades? What if I want to use more than just one user of the software? What other fees am I going to have to prepare for outside of basically the first time investment?
Well, many years ago, one of the things I decided, Eric, is that I don't like a company who sells you this, business opportunity or franchise, and then after that, you've got to pay all kinds of fees. Now, with franchises, it's built in, right? You're going to pay these percentages, fees every month, royalties they call them. So I decided that I did not want to nickel and dime people to death. When we tell people we have a one-time lifetime licensing fee of $27,000, that is the fee. It includes everything going forward. There are no fees through our clearinghouse, for example, because we own it. There are no ongoing support fees. You have lifetime support. There's no training fees. We do webinars for licensees just about every week, and there's no charge for that. We've been doing that for years and years and years. We've got literally hundreds of hours of training that's on our licensee private website that they get access to. There are no user fees. There are no software upgrade fees. There are no hidden fees. You will never send ABS another penny once you've signed up with us and gone through our training here in Fort Worth. So I don't know what to tell you. That's the answer is no fees to any of that.
No fee. Yeah, so there's just the one-time licensing fee, and then again, there's no clearinghouse fees. Patrick, you know as well as I do, you and I are. We have been told by our director of operations that we would both be fired from our positions if we said what's coming up soon. But we know that we've got new services that'll come about, and so I'm assuming that again, any new services, there's no more charges for me as a licensee as well on that one too, correct?
That's correct. Now, we do make money on the back end. I think that's one of the questions that we'll address here as well today.
Yeah,
but
right here.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. It just fit in just perfect. People ask us all the time, well, how do you make money? In fact, I think there's a question in the question box there that's kind of addressing that fact. So folks, the strange thing is that you can set up a business model so that you do make money without charging people fees of any kind. Now, the way that works is on previous webinars and on our website, you folks will find that we have ancillary services that our licensees offer to the doctors. They're optional, but if you offer those to the doctor and they sign up for those, we make a few pennies on each one of those transactions. Plus, since we do have our own clearinghouse, there are fees from our technology partners that are passed back to us as a company. There's a slide that Eric's showing there of all the ancillary services that I'm talking about. So again, you can read about those on our website or watch some of our previous webinars where we go into detail in some of these things. But folks, you can make so much money in so many different ways with our business. It's incredible. And we as a company do make a few pennies on the transactions that go through these. That's not something you're paying for. That's built into the fees that your clients are paying. And so we do make a few pennies, but believe me, you make the bulk of the money, and we're just making a few pennies that we really, if we never told people that, Eric, they would never even know that. I'm trying to be as upfront as I can about that and to let you folks know that we do make money on the back end, which is a good thing, right? Because, well, you make money, we make money. That's the American way. We're in partnership together.
You bet. And let's make this clear, because Chai got a great question here. And let's distinguish between operational fees and, franchise fees or royalty fees. Royalty fees are associated, and franchise fees are associated whenever you have to carry our name, ABS, American Business Systems. And we don't do that. There's no reason for you to have to do that. We want everybody to be an independent medical billing company, which again offers you the maximum amount of money that you can make. Now, as Patrick mentioned, our technology and our technology partners, there are operational fees that go for the doctors. So, for instance, let's say that you're doing billing for a doctor, and then that doctor needs some coding business done. Well, we have certified professional coders of which you can engage with, and on a per claim basis. So you don't have to hire a certified professional coder. You don't have to become a certified professional coder, but you might need one on occasion. So you just use that, and then you build in a little bit of money on your side if you want to, for money to be made there. But then on our billing platform, the iClaim billing system, one of the things that we don't do, we're not in software resale. I think it's a good way to put it. Right. Which means that the doctor will have a monthly operational cost to use the iClaim system. That would be like any other systems, whether it's Advanced MD or Epic or any of the other billing platforms that are out there. You can choose to pay for that for the doctor if you want to add that into your cost, or you can have the doctors pay for it. So we want to make that clear that there are no ongoing franchise fees, royalty fees. Hopefully that kind of clears up for some of the questions. And again, Chaya was asking that question, so are there other costs involved over the 27? Not for you. Again, that comes all from doctor fees and stuff like that, which we'll be happy to explain. And we've actually explained on some other webinars. Patrick, I did want to address one thing from Carrie. You mentioned earlier about people calling some of the references that we have. Carrie put this in here, and I thought you would get a kick out of this. She says, I spoke to 2 owners, and I suggest that anyone that is interested to ask for numbers. They are willing to answer all of my questions and made me feel much more comfortable moving forward. So,
that's nice. That's very nice, Carrie. Thank you for passing that comment along. Yeah, we offer that to people, Eric, but not as many people as you'd think would take us up on that. I guess they figure, well, they've got some people set up out there to take phone calls, but folks, these are real people. You can locate their websites when you call them, ask them about their business. And like I said, some of them have actually opened up offices. They don't work out of their home anymore. They've grown so big, and they're willing to let you come visit them if you arrange that with them. So again, they're the best people to ask questions to, even though I appreciate people asking questions on here. I see a bunch of them coming in, Eric. So
yes, yeah, absolutely. Let's get to one of these others, and then, because I think this one kind of will go along with one that just came in here, maybe from Gerald. So we're going to kind of combine your question, Gerald, with this one. Do I need a background or training or prior experience in medical billing and coding?
Well, the interesting thing is that when we start that class there in our hotel that we hold the training in here in the Dallas area, I asked that question: how many of you have a background in the billing business? And Eric, it's usually one or two in the entire class. I think last class we had 4 or 5. It was kind of unusual. Out of 28 people that were in the room, it was still a small percentage. But the point is, folks, that people come through our training from every imaginable background, and you don't need anything to know what we teach you. We're going to give you enough information in that week, at least, to go out and get your first client. Now,
right.
Is that all you have to learn? No, there's always new stuff to learn in this industry because it's a changing industry, and there's new things that are coming out for doctors all the time that you need to stay up on. That's why we give you weekly webinars as a licensee to learn more about those things. We keep you up on that through our ongoing training for you, again, at no cost, no ongoing cost to you at all. So people think, what about knowing about the codes and all kinds of stuff that's involved in medical billing? Folks, you'll see as you go through our training that that's all built into our system. Our cloud-based system has all the codes built in. You don't need to know them, but when a question's asked about codes, we also have certified medical coders as a part of our team that can help you out with those questions as well. So no, you don't need to know anything. We do have people who know a little bit about medical billing that come through, but they say at the end of the week, boy, I learned more this week than I have in the last 5 years of working for a doctor,
Yeah, and that's what's been so good. We've actually had people that have had their medical billing company, and I mean people that have been in medical billing for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
They have learned much about the business side of it. And then we were able to learn some things from them. So it's a two-way street. We get to learn, they get to learn. But again, what we like to do is understand from a position that we've got the full package. We've got medical billing experience, 24 plus years, but we've got 24 years of business of actually how to run a company,
right,
get clients. And Patrick, sometimes I don't think we make that stressed out enough, that we're not just selling software. We're not just trying to teach people how to do medical billing.
Right.
I mean,
you to run a business. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
And Eric, that's important for people to know that we're there to answer all your questions about anything. We have a support team that's ready to answer any question about anything, including how do I get my letterhead logo set up, website. We include a website, of course, in the package now, but there's all kinds of things that people don't know about running a business. Folks, I call this week of training down here in Dallas our mini MBA in the medical billing business. And since we teach you to be a medical revenue manager, which is far beyond medical billing, you will still know about 95% of all the medical billers and coders and office managers that are out there. You'll know more than they do about this business at the end of 1 week. Because remember, it's a concentrated, 8 to 5 every day. So you're getting a lot of information in that week. And we have all of those sessions recorded and posted on our website that you can review when you get back home. But the great thing is you get to ask questions to somebody who's actually running their own business. We have an instructor, folks, that's been in this business for 8 years now. And she comes down and teaches this class for us, and you'll learn a lot of information from her, believe me.
You bet. And Gerald, hopefully that answers your question, because again, what you're going to learn is that we're going to position you as the subject matter expert, which means even though that you're starting off brand new, just think of it. Now you've got an entire company and other licensees, your colleagues, so to say, in medical billing behind you, and can help you with basically any specialty that's out there. So hopefully, Gerald, that kind of answers your question. Patrick, I'm going to get on because, again, I know your time's limited today, but here's a question, and this kind of leads us into some other questions that we're going to have here. But, we know kind of this is a business opportunity. So does the doctor pay me as a licensee? Does ABS pay me as a licensee? How does all this work?
Well, the great thing is, folks, because it's your business, you'll be able to invoice the doctor. And again, we go into detail in this in the training, but you're invoicing the doctor based on what you're billing for the doctor. So let's say you bill $100,000 this month for the doctor, and you're charging him 7% of that, then you'd make $7,000. You invoice that doctor, and because it's a cloud-based system, you can give access to the doctor directly into our system to see exactly what's happened that month and the fact that you did collect $100,000 for him or her. So you're invoicing the doctor's paying you, and Eric, more often than not, the licensees set up their agreements with the doctors so that they take the money right out of the doctor's bank account about a week after they send them the invoice, unless there's any questions or disputes about it. So you're getting your money directly from their bank account. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that can be even with the a lot of, and this is what I know that Cynthia teaches, that will include any of the operational costs for the doctor for like iClaim. So what typically happens here is that you've got your percentage of what you're charging the doctor. You kind of learn from that, from doing what's called a practice analysis, and you know what kind of money you want to make. And so what a lot of times you'll do is just take those operational costs, anything that would be like some of those ancillary services, and build that into your percentage of what you're doing for the doctor, and therefore you're getting everything paid for with one percentage. And so it really is a great way of doing business. It keeps it very simple for the doctors. And so when you're contracting like that, and then we'll step you all along the way to make sure that gets done properly as well. Patrick, here's one from Marlon. Marlon's asking the question that we know that the $27,000 covers at least one seat in the training class. Is it possible to get another seat to have a partner to show up?
Yes. However, think about it this way, folks. This is a limited size class, right? We keep them small so that you have interaction with other people in the class, be able to ask all the questions you want directly to the instructor during the class. So we purposely keep them less than 30 people. 28, I think, is the total that we've gotten in there, Eric, at one time. Sometimes they're even smaller than that. But the point is that you basically have limited space. So we tell people, if you want to bring a spouse or a partner, there is an additional $1,000 fee for that one person. But they get all you get and have the ability to do exactly what you have as well. So it's almost like two people coming for the price of one. But that's just an additional fee. And that's only if there are seats available. So again, I tell people this, and I feel bad when I do this, Eric, because it sounds like I'm trying to, close the deal or something. But I'm just telling people the truth. These will fill up. They have so far for the past 5 or 6 trainings. You need to get your paperwork done and into your business coach here at ABS so we can set aside those seats for you and your partner or spouse. Yeah.
You bet. And Marlon, the next class that we have after March, if you can't make this one coming up in March, there is another one that we're going to have. However, it's one of those where it kind of falls between 2 months. It's like, I think, the last day of April and the first few days of May. So just kind of letting you know, but you get with your business coach and get those exact dates there. All right. So Patrick, let's jump into this one, because this is a great question. It's come from one of our viewers from a past webinar. How will doctors react to the fact that we would be running our business from our home?
Eric, my wife and I are not doing medical billing now. We stopped, in fact, years and years ago. After we started licensing other people, our focus was on helping them to build their business. And so we got out of the billing business, sold our accounts. But in the 6 years that we were in the business ourselves, we always worked directly out of our home. And, never did we have that question asked by doctors ever. Doctors don't care nowadays where you're working. It's what you do for them. And, you're welcome to tell them that you work out of your home. But we show people how to position themselves, Eric, as a part of our network. So we tell people, right, you literally can tell the doctor, I am a part of the nation's largest network of medical revenue managers. We do thousands of claims every day for hundreds of doctors from coast to coast. And we collect millions of dollars in money for doctors that they would not have seen otherwise. Now, you see, didn't that position you a little bit better than somebody saying, yes, I work out of my spare bedroom in a closet in my daughter's bedroom and, in my pajamas. It's all how you position that, right? But look, you're going out and seeing the doctors in their office. They're not coming to yours. This is not one of those businesses where they're driving down the road and they see your sign and go, hey, I need to stop in there. They just don't do that. The licensees who do get offices, Eric, they're usually just in some warehouse area that, because nobody comes there. They just need the space to hire some people sometimes. That's
it. That's exactly it. It's because you've grown and you need space for people, and you don't want people showing up in your home. So,
and right, and you can keep this business as small as you wish, like Len
Yep.
and I did, or you can grow it as large as you wish. Yeah.
All right, here's a question that came in from, hopefully I'm going to say this name correctly, Temejden is asking, does ABS do dental billing too?
Yes, we now have dental billing available for our licensees. Eric, let me just say this, though. For people who think they want to go after the dental market, they don't realize how different it is from medical billing.
Right.
First of all, there's lots more doctors in your area than you think about, all the specialties and so forth. They're kind of hidden sometimes in those big, tall buildings. But and I tell people, look, it's a completely different type of billing as well. So it's not something that we teach or focus on in that week of training, because your money is in the medical doctors in your area. Now, if you want to get into the medical billing, we can help you do that. But again, we don't focus on that in that live training workshop.
It's so funny. I got to tell this quick story here. We had some folks at our house here not too long ago, a few families here, and we were talking about obviously medical billing and all this kind of stuff. And there was only one family out of all the people that were here, that was the only family that had dental insurance. And they told me that that what they had to pay in barely even covered, for the cleaning.
What was covered,
really didn't cover for anything else.
Right.
So really what the whole aspect of dental billing, I know that there's debates whether, you can go make money at dental billing versus medical billing. But Patrick's right. Most people have medical care of some sort, medical insurance, whether it's Medicaid, Medicare, some of the bigger insurance companies. You're going to have more people that have that are covering things for doctors that way. So obviously you want to be able to look at that. What about this one, Patrick? I'm sorry. You want to add something to it?
I just wanted to make one more comment about that. Folks, I tell people, look, we're going to give you, if you want it, a list of doctors in your area, and you're going to be amazed at how many doctors there are out there in your area. Once you've signed all of them up, then you should go after the dentists in your office, in your area.
You bet. All right, so this is a question that Phil is asking that's kind of a comparison to this, but who are my competitors? And I'm going to go ahead and ask his question. How does your software / service compare to the big medical companies like CureMD and Curio? Now, before you answer that question, Patrick, let's make sure that people understand what is being asked. This is actually the question that he's asking about CureMD and Curio. Those are billing platforms, okay? Those aren't actually medical billing companies. Those are just medical platforms that are being used by medical billers. But let's talk about our platform real quickly, Patrick, the iClaim EMRX platform. Who are my competitors, and how am I different from those folks?
Well, one of the things is those 9 ancillary services that we showed on the screen earlier that you can offer to doctors in your area that your competitors won't have, because those are unique to ABS and our licensees. The other thing, of course, is that we have a very unique situation in that our electronic medical record system and our billing system is also tied into a patient portal. Folks, the future is telemedicine, where the doctor is actually on a screen, just like Eric and I are right now, talking with you over the internet. And we have that already built into our system as well. Plus, we have our own clearinghouse, as Eric mentioned earlier, which means you don't have to mess with setting up and dealing with the paperwork that's involved with a third party, like a clearinghouse. Most medical billing software, you have to export your claims out to the clearinghouse, who then scrubs the claims and forwards it on. We do all that for you. That's built into our system. You won't see anything else, so you can be very competitive price-wise in your marketplace because of that.
You bet. So let's make this clear for, again, Phil and for others. With CureMD and Curio, Advanced MD, you have to use an outside third-party clearinghouse in order to get claims to the insurance. With iClaim, you go directly to the insurance. So imagine that you're using a platform, the only platform in the U.S. that can actually deliver claims directly to each insurance company. Well, the results of that, Patrick, is higher reimbursements because less problems find out there. And we get the doctors paid within 5 to 7 days. I mean, that's You're not going to find that with any other clearinghouse or any of these other softwares. Just not going
Well,
to
and
do it.
because our system is cloud-based, everything is done in real time, so we can validate the patients before they come in to make sure that they are covered by insurance, so the doctor doesn't waste their time. Plus, Eric, we also have the ability. Well, it's kind of like I tell people, you know how to make sandwiches. Why would you go spend $100,000 on a Subway sandwich franchise? You know how to make sandwiches. Come on. Well, it's because they teach you how to run a business. And that's the same with ABS. Of course, you can find software anywhere out on the internet that would do medical billing. But folks, we're going to teach you exactly how to find your clients. What if we helped you find the clients in 30 days when on your own it might take you 6 months? You see, you've lost money there, haven't you? So there are advantages to not reinventing the wheel. That may be one of the reasons that some people ask those questions about, that.
All right. This is a big one, Patrick. Aren't doctors already doing their own billings? Why do they even need me?
Well, if you think about it, doctors are doing their own billing, many of them, and some of them have already outsourced to other companies, medical billing companies. So, Eric, I tell people, why is it that our licensees are signing up dozens of doctors every month? How is that possible that we're signing up doctors when they're either already doing it themselves or they've already outsourced it? Well, it's simple. We educate the doctor on the fact that they may be doing their own billing, thinking that they're saving money, when we show them that we can save them thousands of dollars and bring in additional dollars that they're not bringing in right now. So it's not a matter of whether or not they think that they can do it themselves. Of course they do. That's why they're doing it. What they don't realize is they're not bringing in what they think they are. For example, a doctor might get checks every day from insurance companies. What they don't realize is that they're not getting but about 70% probably of the money that could have been collected had they had an up-to-date cloud-based system and someone like you that's been trained to collect every single day. Eric, our licensees are collecting on average 98% of all the money that's due to a doctor. That's unheard of, and most doctors hardly even believe it when you tell them that, but we can prove that to them.
We can prove that to them. Now, you did an interview with Dr. Vicki Rackner not too long ago, and she basically said the same thing. I mean, she was a surgeon. She experienced that. And I think one of the things that a lot of people really don't understand is that one of the tools that we're going to give you is how to do an analysis with the doctor to find out what's really going on with that doctor. It's called a practice analysis, and that practice analysis is really going to take it down to some of those areas that the doctors themselves don't even know. It's almost like we're the doctor and looking at them and examining them. And trying to find out really what's wrong. And so I know that Dr. Rackner has said that too, but she's got some great opportunities for our new licensees to ask certain questions, because again, the question always comes about, how will the doctor even tell me any of those questions or answers? We've got strategic ways, because we're actually taught by a physician how to ask the questions to physicians.
Right, exactly. In fact, that practice analysis is now, I think, up to 3 pages, Eric, of questions that you ask. Sometimes it's the doctor, sometimes it's the office manager. We'll teach you how to get in and get those questions answered. And once you have those questions, you're going to come back with a report that actually in black and white shows that, bottom line, you can actually bring the doctor more money to the table every month than they're bringing in right now. So your service doesn't really even cost them anything.
Right. You're exactly correct. Speaking of services, Carrie's got a question here. Do you find that many doctors will use the EMR-X, that's our electronic medical record system, EMR system, or do they tend to lean towards just the billing side only? I like to kind of say this, first of all, Carrie, and I'll let Patrick kind of chime in here. But remember, when you're trying to get this doctor, let's make sure you get the billing under control, the money situation. Because remember, you're dealing with a cash flow basis. Because Patrick, we've seen this with other licensees. Once cash flow has gotten going, the doctors are really open up to even the other ancillary services that we actually have.
Yes, it's amazing how the other services that you can offer to doctors are what we call door openers, which just means they do get you in the door when they may think that their billing is under control already. But getting in with another service, and once you get in with that one, Now you're on the inside, right? You're past the bulletproof glass that's there in the office, right?
You bet. All right, here's a question that again has been asked. This was asked to me today on a phone call I was having with someone. What about territorial restrictions?
Well, you're actually illustrating it right there, Eric. That's your territory, folks. Believe it or not, we have licensees that have clients all over the United States because there are no territories. It's wide open for you. Now, the reason for that is because a doctor in your area that you do a good job for might know a doctor in another state, and they can refer that doctor to you, and you don't have to worry about running into territories. Folks, with over 1 million medical providers in the United States, you don't have to worry about running out of clients. There are plenty of them.
Yeah, I mean, and because you're actually using one form, and that one form is called a CMS 1500 form that's used nationwide. And that form, you bill Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, obviously Medicare and Medicaid, so you can go across state lines, no problem.
Right.
Patrick, Phil has a question here. Will the increase of the number of affordable care organizations help or hurt the billing industry? That's a great question.
You know what? When the first sign of the American Healthcare Act was actually it came out in 2008, we thought that it might affect this industry. Well, it did. Our licensees started signing up more doctors than they'd ever signed up before. Because, folks, all that does is give the people in America the choices of going with whatever company they want to. There could be thousands and thousands of those companies out there. The point is that that has nothing to do with you because you're just simply the one who does the billing for the doctor to those companies.
You bet. And those ACOs have been around for quite some time, Phil. So, our licensees actually can help do some billings for those organizations as well, and they have. So we don't see it as a threat to anything that we're doing. I mean, it's actually, again, like Patrick said, can actually increase what you're doing here. Virgil is asking, can you explain how you expedite the billing turnaround in such a short time? I think we kind of mentioned that earlier, Patrick, but I don't have anything illustrated right now with it, but I know that we have in the past. We've illustrated how all that works. So maybe what you can do is share with them, and I can go to our YouTube page again, but you can show people, whenever I pull that up, how they can go find different topics of discussion that you and I have had about that, where we've done that. So I'm going to let you kind of handle that. I'm going to try to find that slide there once more.
Yeah, the amazing thing is that there are lots and lots of doctors out there that you can run across almost accidentally. We're going to teach you exactly how to market to the doctors, of course, in your area. But believe me, we have done a lot of research on this, folks, and we know that doctors need help in no matter what area they're in. Eric, what was the exact question there?
Can you explain how we expedite the billing turnaround in such a short time? And we kind of explained that about how when you remove the clearinghouse out of the way, we're, again, going directly to the insurance companies.
Eric, one of the interviews that I've done there on YouTube with one of our licensees, they actually told me that doctor that they were billing for had set it up so that the money was deposited directly in the doctor's bank account. So get this, the licensee actually did the billing, sent the bills in on Monday, and the doctor had the money in their bank account on Friday. Now, that's not the average. We tell people it's 7 to 14 days that you can get the doctor their money. But Eric, the methods that doctors are using right now, sometimes it's 45 to 60 days before they see their money. So it is because of our technology that we're able to do that, and the fact that we've eliminated the clearinghouse completely as a third-party entity there. That cuts down days and days of waiting, getting messages back from the clearinghouse, then sending it back and so forth. So we've eliminated all that. So it's because it's cloud-based that it's almost in real time.
And Gerald, this is really what answers this question. What is the main factors that make my billing company different than others? Let me say this to help answer this question. And some of you have heard this from me before. Some of you may have already done this already. But that is for you to get with your business coach here at ABS. and allow us to do a demonstration of the software. That's the only way that we can explain this question, and really, Virgil, really what's causing us to be able to get these claims paid so quickly.
Yeah.
Because there's several factors, but we can demonstrate what those factors are, and this is really what separates you from any other billing company. I was talking with a lady that owns her own billing company, and we kind of talked about some of these differences here, and it really is. Whenever you can see a demonstration of the software, it really does make that understandable so much better than just trying to explain it.
I think Eric is talking about the fact that we can do a demo directly to you to prove to you what we have here in our technology. But at the same time, we also do that as a service to you once you find a prospective doctor who wants to know more about it. We will set up the demo and do the demo for you up to what, Eric, 45 minutes or more for the doctor, answering all of the questions that the doctor has. And you can be there in the doctor's office watching it and hearing the questions that he's asking, and just be ready with the paperwork, because about half of them are ready to get started with you as soon as they see that demo. It's that impressive. We hear on the other side, when we're just listening in on some of those demos, we hear the doctors going, wow, they are blown away because they didn't know that this kind of technology was available.
Well, for those that I've talked to, you know that I can do those demos, and I've done them for you. But folks, listen, just in the last few weeks, Patrick, I know the increase of doctors getting ready to change over from their current billing company over to one of our licensees, because we have 5 to 6 guys right now that's all they do are demonstrations. Right. I've had to do 2 over the last 2 weeks. Both of those doctors signed up. I know. I've got, over the next week and a half, I've got 3 other demos as the overflow to our current group of people. So, folks, we know that this is, we are making a difference. There's no doubt that we're making a difference here.
Yes.
All right. So we've talked about competitors. We've talked about territories. Let's talk about this one. How many doctors do I need, Patrick, to make a CEO type income?
Eric, why don't we do this? Why don't you pause the screen there, or stop it first, and I'll just talk to people about what we're about to show them. And you go out to the website, and let's just show them that there's a calculator on our website that can show you this. But folks, let me give you a hint. It's less than a handful. Yeah, we've got licensees making 6-figure incomes with less than 5 clients. Now, when we show this to you, you'll see why, because you literally can do, for one doctor, let's say 20 claims a day, that's 100 a week, that's 400 a month. From that alone, you can make about a third of a 6-figure income. So it's not that hard to make that kind of money from this business. It's what I call a hidden secret cash business that is done behind the scenes. Like I told you, me and my wife were doing it, and our friends and relatives wondered how we were making the kind of money we were making. Well, you're going to see that from here as Eric shows you this here.
Yeah, so if you'll just go to our website, it's avsystems.com, and go to right here where it says income potential. Now look at here what we can do. We can come right down here to medical billing income calculator. Just click on that. And we already have numbers here. I mean, obviously, this is maybe kind of low. I like to use 25 patients a day because that kind of gives a little bit more of a better sense, because obviously, you can have anywhere from 10 to 15 patients in the morning, 10 to 15 patients in the afternoon. But if you've got one doctor that is seeing, on average, about 25 patients a day, again, average number of days in the office per week is 5 days. And again, the average percentage of what you're charging is 6% of the average claim amount. Now, I know that we've got some folks in here that have had billing background. They're going to ask me, is this the charged amount or is this the reimbursed amount? What we're looking at here of $100, this is as close to a reimbursed amount that we can get, because obviously the doctors are charging more than $100 on their claims to send out. So we kind of balance it out here. These are all averages. When you put those numbers in there, just click on the word submit right there, and that will come back and calculate that out for you. So you can see a total yearly income, gross income with one doctor with those numbers is $39,000 a year, about $3,250 per month income. So I think, Patrick, that's what you're wanting to see. So again, people just play with these numbers here. I mean, if you want a different projection, look at maybe you can handle 3 doctors, and let's keep it at 20 patients a day, and let's even get this down to $75 per deal. Click on 70, and then with 3 doctors, you can be making nearly $6,000 a month, or close to $70,000 a year. But again, we're trying to be as conservative on these numbers as possible. So, I mean, some of us, we all know, Patrick, when we go to the doctor, I'm over 55 now. I know I'm paying way over $100 per visit at this point.
Yeah, it mounts up really fast for sure. Yes.
And what you and this one here, Patrick, I mean, a lot of people want to know, what can I do to replace my income? Now, this is a good one right here. So you can put in your desired income that you want to look towards. So again, let's say that you want to get $90,000. Let's just put that one in there, and you do a check, and it shows you here that you're going to need anywhere from 3 to 5 doctors to get an annual income of about $90,000 a year. So again, these are estimated numbers here, but again, I think we're trying to be as conservative as we can here, Patrick.
Yeah, well, we try to be, and yet, Eric, it's still hard to believe that there's that much money to be made with one single doctor. So when I say it's less than a handful that you need to make a 6-figure income, folks, that's our CEO income. That's very realistic. Yes,
very, very realistic here. Hopefully, I'm showing the screen back here, and
yeah.
Are you seeing that, Patrick?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I know that. Wow. I mean, we have blown through about this hour, and I know you got to get ready to go yourself. And again, I think we've taken quite a few questions so far, but let me see if there's any other questions that are live here. Let's see if we can just find any others. Don't doctors already have medical bills? I think we answered that one. We've answered that one there to some degree. Okay, I think we've answered that one there too. Let's see, can ABS help me get clients initially?
Eric?
Yeah.
While you're looking for a question, can I change their my presenter here just for a second to me? I want to show a document here because a lot of people don't realize how important it is that you be able to show the doctor, I mean, live and in person, exactly what's kind of money that you can save them or bring in, I should say. So you can do that. Let me see if I can get this up on the screen here. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to show this document right here. And as you can see, folks, this is just a sample, but let me kind of fill up the screen here with this document so you can see it better. This is an example of how you can show the doctor, and this is a sample one. As you can see, it's just Dr. John Doe up here at the top. But look, you fill this out on a spreadsheet that we have once you get that information from that practice analysis from the doctor. And when you fill in the numbers that they give you, basically you're going to show the doctor what's projected when we reduce their rejection rate. In this case, the doctor had a 25% rejection rate. We're going to get that down to 2%. That'll mean another $27,000 a month coming into the doctor, or another $122,424 a year. Now, Eric, I don't know about you, but that's nothing to sneeze at, even for a doctor.
No, that's a good return. And again, that's just doing our due diligence. Again, over years of being in this business in this field, we've learned what questions to ask. I mean, obviously, we work with our licensees all the time. We're coming up with new questions all the time. But so, yes, absolutely, we can show and prove to the doctor that we can help them not only save money but increase their cash flow. And this is one of the things I love about it. I know you've got to get ready to go, Patrick, but sometimes you're not having to be the lowest person charging the doctor percentage. You don't have to go down to 4% or 3%. You can be in that upper 6.5%, 7%, and we'll show you how to do that. So
yeah, you don't want to be the Walmart grocery store in the area. You want to be the Whole Foods store. In other words, you may charge more money, but you've got better quality that you're going to show the doctor that you've got too. Eric, I do have to run. Thank you so much for putting this thing together today.
You bet. Thank you, Patrick, for your time. And I'm going to wrap up with everybody. Thank you again, Patrick. Folks, let me kind of wrap up this webinar for us this afternoon. Let me talk with you quickly. This is one of the things that Patrick really wants you to kind of be left with here as we kind of wrap up today's webinar. A lot of people ask about franchises, business opportunities. How can I guarantee us getting clients? Folks, we can't do that. There's not a franchise out there. There's not a business opportunity out there that can guarantee to get you clients. Now, they may give you clients, but again, a lot of times that's their relationship. Then they switch them over to you. So, folks, what we can do, we know that we can do this. We do have a 100% money back guarantee. We want you to feel so comfortable about your choice. Now, we want you to do your due diligence. Be on these webinars, do the demos with us, talk to ABS licensees currently, the reference list that we have, then get to training. We want you to sit through our training class, sit through the whole thing, learn all the trade secrets, hear from how to build the business. And then, folks, at the end of this class, if you feel as though you cannot do this business, just at the end of the training, feel free to ask for your money back. We give you back 100% of your money that you've invested. The only thing we can't pay you back is the travel and the time that you spend here. But folks, we know that this is a lot of money, and we want you to feel comfortable with it. And people ask, I mean, I'm sure I haven't checked the question box here, but I'm sure people are asking, have we given money back? And we have. Folks, people come in for reasons that they think they want to do, but then they get here, they feel like, I can't do this. Or a lifestyle change has happened during the week, or something's occurred. So we have this in our purchase agreement. If you haven't seen our purchase agreement, look at it. But it basically says this: if at the end of the training, for any reason you do not think this business is right for you, simply tell any of our staff members, and they will arrange for you to receive a full refund of your license fee. Now, we can say this: no other business opportunity or franchise does that, because once you're in, there's no way to get your money back. We do offer that. We want you to feel comfortable about your purchase here. Even from that, continue to keep doing your due diligence. If you'd like to come by and visit with us, here's our address. We'd love to host you here, visit with you, see us kneecap to kneecap, and understand what this whole business is about. We'd love to be able to do that with you as well.